O&M contracts can be structured in different ways. In this video, we'll cover some of the basic guidelines. Before we get started, it's important to understand the different rates that are being charged for O&M. According to a recent NREL report, O&M rates range from $15 to $25 per 1,000 kW. Okay, let's get into some contract basics. Here are some of the elements. Duration of contracts. There are three basic terms. There's a yearly contract that may or may not be extended at the end of the year. There's a 5-year term, which is typical of projects that have been funded by state or utility programs. The last option typically seen is a longer term contract. It could be for 15 to 30 years, typically based off of the financer or the owners of the project. They like to identify a O&M contractor and retain his services through the duration of their contract. This third type of contract comes into play on larger projects, typically with utilities or large facilities. Technical support is typically included in an O&M contract. This is for somebody who would be on call or be responsible for getting back to the system owner within 24 or 48 hours. Reporting mandate. This is the list of services included in the provider's scope of work. This can vary widely depending on the services that the provider is comfortable including. Site-specific safety plan will outline the hazards and risks specific to each site. The O&M provider is responsible for his staff, and it's important that all OSHA requirements are met on the site. Frequency. Every contract will specify how many times an O&M provider will come out to visit a site within a year. Small sites may only be under contract for one site visit per year, but typically there's two. So usually one visit is conducted in the spring after the harsh winter weather. This is because of the extreme conditions, the very cold, ice, and snow that builds up on the components. It's important to have a detailed review in the springtime to ensure that nothing was damaged. Then there is usually a less comprehensive site visit scheduled for the fall. Once the contract's in place, it's time for the provider to start collecting detailed information from the customer. We organize the information we gather from our customers in a base document. The first time we use the base document is with an interview with the owner. This interview is a must to gather the details and history of the project. The interview is followed up by the owner sharing the project history and records, including equipment warranties and documentation. The base document covers basics like location, project description, and owner contact information. It also details O&M planning essentials like the site drawings and their location, warranties, access issues, and the contractor on the project, as well as the inspection history, number of modules and strings, how they are organized, and their voltage. Other planning essentials covered in the base document include inverter details, ownership of all components, estimated production and performance requirements, module ISC, and IMP. Arrays have their own section in the base document, covering topics like grounding and racking. Inverters have their own section too, covering serial numbers, warranties, start dates, switchgear, etc. Finally, the base document covers the metering on the system, including data acquisition and on-site weather station monitoring. It's critical that the O&M provider be given access to the data acquisition system and that all alerts are communicated clearly. All the information collected in the base document is used to create an O&M plan for the site. This is a step-by-step guide used to fulfill the specific requirements of the contract. The details of the plan are directly related to how we access the site and whether it's a ground mount or a roof mount. The goal of the plan is to lay out an ordered process to achieve the functions of the contract. Included in this plan is a fully developed site-specific safety plan. In these videos, we will not discuss how to create a site-specific safety plan.